Have you ever asked yourself why I don't see the same as 5 years ago? Why my face is different to my body? Well, the answer is the cell cycle. Why? Well, you should know that in our body we have uncountable number of cells. But what have the cells to be with this? The answer is that the cell have something called the cell cycle. In this cycle, the cell passes through 4 phases in which the final product is the division of cells. The divisions generate in our body more cells and as a result more cells, more development in our body. In this presentation, we will present you the phases of the cell cycle and also the process of mitosis.
Gap 1. During this phase, the cell grows fast. It also makes proteins needed for DNA, replication, and copies for some of its organelles, in preparation for cell division. A cell typically spends most of its life in this phase.
Interphase. In this phase, the cell's DNA is copied in the process of DNA replication. During the gap 2, the cell makes final preparations to divide. For example, it makes additional proteins and organelles. Next, we will explain the last phase of the cell cycle called mitosis. In mitosis, which is the last phase of the cell cycle, there are 4 phases again: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase.
First, we have prophase. In prophase, chromatin condenses into chromosomes, and the nuclear envelope or membrane breaks down. In animal cells, the centrioles near the nucleus begin to separate and move to opposite poles of the cell. As the centriole move, a spindle starts to move between them.
Then we have metaphase. In metaphase, spindle fibers attach to the centromere of each pair of sister chromatids. The sister chromatids line up at the equator or center of the cell. The spindle fibers ensure that sister chromatids will separate and go to different daughter cells when the cell divides. The third phase is anaphase. Anaphase sister chromatids separate and the centromeres divide. The sister chromatids are pulled apart by the shortening of spindle fibers. When sister chromatid move to a pole of the cell and the other sister chromatid move to the opposite pole, at the end of anaphase, each pole of the cell has a complete set of chromosomes.
Finally, we have telophase. Telophase is when the chromosomes begin to uncoil and form chromatin. This prepares the genetic material for directing the metabolic activities of the new cell. The spindle also breaks down and new nuclear membranes form.
As the last cytokinesis, which is the last thing of cell division in eukaryotes as well as prokaryotes. During cytokinesis, the cytoplasm splits in two and the cell divides.
In conclusion, the cell cycle is a complex, not very known, but important process in which all of us grow and develop as humans. That's why we change during time. This is also why we look different as the years pass.